What we have here is a faucet that drips. And what we're going to have when we're done is a faucet that doesn't drip. Not showing you the drips because I've turned off the water underneath. Underneath the sink, when you turn on or off the valves, make sure to turn them all the way to prevent drips. After turning off the water, both hot and cold, we'll make sure that there's no water coming out, because if there was water coming out, it would be getting in the way of working on the valve itself. So now we can begin by removing the valve handle. A couple of turns loosens that up and it pops right off. We're going to make sure to keep the right handle on the right and the left handle on the left, because what we have here is a handle where the stop matches where it's going to fit in the hole and what limits the motion of the handle. Now we'll disassemble the valve. It's that easy to loosen it up, which means we're not going to tighten it very tight when we're finished either, and keep the parts in order so we can put them back exactly in the right place. Now that we've removed the retaining ring, we can just wiggle very slightly and the whole cartridge will come out just like that. Next, we'll clean some of the water out so we can see what we're doing. And it'll probably keep flowing back in, but that's okay. What we want to do is be able to get it's going to keep flowing in because there was water left in the top end of the valve. So we'll just reach in there and remove the old gasket and the old spring. As we take it out, we notice the big part of the spring is on the bottom. Down at Home Depot, picked up a package of seats and springs. Might as well get the big pack, it's not that expensive. And I will pick out some new ones, but first we will clean out any debris that went into the valve seat. And remember, before you start anything, let's close that drain so we don't lose any parts if we drop them into the sink. My drain doesn't want to stay closed, so I'll just put a piece of paper over the hole. The other thing I got at Home Depot was some waterproof grease. So you might notice it's good to wear rubber gloves when you're doing this, because when you get waterproof grease on your hands, you can't wash it off. We're going to take a little bit of that waterproof grease, it doesn't take much, and we're going to rub it around on the inside of the valve seat so that that rubber valve seat can move very easily. I'm going to put a little bit of that grease right on the valve seat itself too. Make sure it moves very, very smoothly in there. Now, the next thing I'll do is use my Allen wrench. That way I can hold all the pieces. New spring, new valve seat, and you might as well just throw the old one away. It could be a little soft or a little corroded, so just discard it. Take the new one and use the Allen wrench to put it in there so we don't drop anything down the sink, and it goes exactly in the place we want it to go. It might not go very easily, so I'm going to use my finger and just push it into place, and you'll feel when it goes down properly into the valve guide. Before I put the cartridge back into place, I'm going to use a paper towel, clean off any deposits or corrosion that's on there. Doesn't take much to clean it off. As long as that piece that touches the valve, the rubber gasket is nice and smooth, we're going to be in good shape. Don't leave any paper shards on there. Another thing you can do is rub it on a paper towel on the table. When we put the cartridge back in, we'll put it back in the same direction it came out. Make sure it fits down there most of the way. The retaining ring is going to push it down the rest of the way, but I've got it very flat to where it was before. When we put the stopper, the rotational stop in, where are we going to put it? Right back where it was before, because we took a picture of it so we remember which side it goes in. Now we're ready to put the retaining ring back on and tighten it. I'm not tightening it yet, I'm just still turning it finger tight. And there we go, now it's good and tight. Put the handle back on, and before I tighten it all the way, I'll test it. Moves nice and smoothly. Okay, now I will tighten it back in so the valve handle is snug, just a little bit tighter. Moves smoothly, feels good, doesn't rattle. We'll do the same thing to the cold water side and then turn on the water. Remember, when you put the gasket back in, the washer, you want to be able to push it down and feel that it moves inside the valve seat. If it doesn't move, that means a piece of it might be in the way, and you have to reseat it. Something else we want to do after cleaning the cartridge is let's put a little bit of waterproof grease on the base of this also, so that when it touches the rubber, it has a lubrication effect. That'll help it move smoothly, and it'll also help keep it viable for a long time. And yes, I forgot to do that on the hot side, so I'm going to take it apart and do it again. Oh, I have to put the stopping detent in before I put the retaining ring on, because that has a little knob on it, so that gets held in place too. There we go. Nice and smooth. With the handles in the off position, I'm going to turn on the water now under the sink and check for leaks. Remember to turn the handles under the sink on all the way. You don't want to leave those valves in the halfway position. Right now we'll check the hot and cold, and they both work. And when we're done, no leaks. That's lovely. When you're finished, turn the water on, check for leaks under here, check for leaks under here. This should be nice and dry all the way around.